Side note, well, I'm saying it live, so we might have to keep it in, but we're going to have to cut this.
Okay.
But we'll keep it in.
Okay. Hello, everybody. How are we today? My name is Chris Jones, and you're listening to the Milk Talk Podcast.
Milk Talk. Milk Talk. Milk Talk. Chris Jones.
Okay. Hell yeah. We did it. We
Yeah,
did it.
there
Yeah,
we go.
we're in it. Hello, everybody. Like I said, my name is Chris Jones. I am the host of this wonderful podcast. Here today is our very special guest. Please give it up for Sam Silverman, everybody.
Hi!
Yeah, there's like a crowd over here that's looking. Francis is here. Everyone's there.
There's 40,000 people here.
There's 40,000 people here. And you'd be surprised because the rent isn't that bad. You know what I mean? It's probably because we're splitting it 40,000 ways. But we're here live from outside of Philadelphia proper. Would you consider this in Philadelphia? I mentioned this to Kyle last week.
I'm from Jersey, so I genuinely have no clue.
Well, that means there's a better chance you're on my side. So
Yeah, no, 100% this is Philadelphia.
You know, and I'll tell you why it's Philadelphia, because for the last 5 days, I've been trying to get my car towed from the parking lot. It's right outside. And they won't do it because Philadelphia is under like a restriction because of the snow or something. And I'm like, no, but I understand, but I'm not in Philadelphia. I'm in a parking lot. Like, you can come. Everyone's here. We're having a great time, you know? And they're just like, no, you're in Philadelphia. So they just won't tow my car. Hey, this is why we're here, by the way. We're just going to talk about random things that adults have to do sometimes when they don't know how to work on cars. So
I have no idea what to do with a car.
you don't have a car? I don't know. I'm asking. I'm sorry.
No.
That sounded definitive. You don't fucking
No, I
have a
love
car.
it. You don't have a car.
No.
No, it's so I technically have a car. I share a car with with my sweet girlfriend.
Okay.
And then there is a second car, but the second car doesn't have a hood or a bumper really. Well, no, it definitely doesn't have a bumper, and it kind of has a hood.
Okay.
That's what I should say.
What's wrong with the hood that makes it kinda?
You'd have to see it.
I'd have
It's
to
just
see
barely
it.
on there. It's a different color. I got scammed at the supermarket. One guy claimed he could fix it. So then I was high, and I was really scared that he was like, if I said no, he was like going to do something to me.
Okay.
And then he just like took a hammer to it. It was very clearly a scam. So the hood is just a mess. And for that reason, I just say we have one car because I don't want to have to admit that we have the other.
You were at the supermarket.
Yeah.
What supermarket?
I was at Wegmans. It was two young, I'm not going to make no profiling, just two young men.
Fair.
Actually, that makes it sound like they were. Basically what happened was I come into the parking lot, a couple of youths are tailing me as I go through the parking lot. Okay. And at this point, I see a couple of youths behind me. I am scared. I'm high. I'm scared, okay? So I pull into my parking spot, and they pull up right behind me, like double park me. I was in my really bad car. A couple of kids saw me in the parking lot. They're in like a nice car. They're in like a Mercedes, and they're following me.
Okay.
They eventually coaxed me out of the car because I'm like, nah. I literally sat in the car for like 3 minutes because I was just terrified of going into the grocery store. And then eventually they're able to coax me out of the car like they're trying to get my attention, and they're like, yo, your car is all messed up. We can fix it. Now, any person who's not high and afraid of like two 19-year-olds probably would realize that two 19-year-olds driving a Mercedes don't just randomly have the tools in their car to fix a bumper and a hood.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I just was so scared. I needed to get them out of there. So I let them just take a hammer to like my hood. They took a blowtorch to my wheel, And they were just literally trying to make industrial noise while the one distracted me. And he was like, all right, you're going to have to go into the store. You're going to have to go to the ATM. You're going to have to grab as much cash as you can. So it was like two 19-year-olds trying to rob me in a really, what they thought was a sophisticated way. The only reason it was working is because I'm stupid, high, and scared.
Yeah.
So eventually I get into the store. They're pretending to work on my car. And I'm like, okay, let me go get you guys some money. And this story makes me look so dumb, but it's whatever. But then once I get into the store, I get all like tough. I'm like, no, like they don't get to do this.
Have I been rused?
Yeah.
Have I been rused?
And I remember just being like by the pineapples, just like standing there. Yeah. Being like, I'm getting got. So they wanted like $300, but I wasn't going to do that. But again, I was still kind of scared. So I just got $20 out of the ATM, which is still such a bitch. To lose any money to these guys is really a bitch move. But I took $20 out of the ATM and I go back to my car and I'm like, look, guys, just get out of here. And they got mad at me because they thought it was going to work. So they wanted a lot of money at that point. But I eventually got the youths to scatter.
Did you give them the $20?
I did give them the $20.
That means they tried that a second time.
Oh,
because they left that and they were just like, well, I mean, it wasn't $300, but if we're making $20 just by fucking with people, like we'll do it again. You know what I mean? We should go do it. We should go to Wegmans and do that.
We could.
Yo, shout out to. I'm not doing that again. I'm not gonna just say we're sponsored by a bunch of people. That's
sponsored by Wegmans and shit.
We're not I had to do this in the first episode with Kyle. We kept saying we were sponsored by people. And then my wife watched the episode and she was just like, hey, before you get fucking sued, you should probably just put on something just somewhere that you aren't actually affiliated. So we have no sponsors. If you would like to sponsor us, please give me money. Not that this costs me a lot of money, but if I had extra gas money to go do comedy, I'm not going to be upset about it. Thinking about it, dude, it's just the age of 19 to like anybody from like 17 to like 19 3/4. I don't know what happens when you're 20, but like that is such an age group of just little little dastardly just dastardly things. The world is your oyster. You have no responsibilities. You probably have a job that gives you money you don't need, and you just get to be vile. You get to go. You get to do whatever you want. Those moments where you're just like, I was a bad person. It's pretty nice. It's pretty cathartic. Like thinking about those times where you got away with being a bad person.
Yeah, telling those stories.
I'm trying to just think of one, I guess, of when I really like was a bad person on purpose. I got nothing. I guess I lied. I guess I lied, guys. I've never done anything bad.
See, I'm so stupid that most of my stuff wasn't intentional. Like, I lit my friend's car on fire.
Nice. Hell yeah.
But not on purpose. It was very accidental. Although in college, when we did icebreakers freshman year on our floor, we had to go around and say, like, one fun fact about us. And I thought everybody was going to get a hoot out of me lighting my friend's car on fire by accident. But I kept forgetting to say by accident. So just the first time they were introduced to me, and I was like, I've lit my friend's car on fire.
Yeah. Did you have the eyes too?
Yeah, no, I had those eyes. I had a gun.
Yeah, you had the lighter was still lit. Like it was just like you were like, I'll do it again.
But yeah, I lit my friend's car on fire, and his stepdad was a firefighter.
Sure.
So it was kind of fucking convenient because we just woke him up and we were like, there's a fire. And at first he was like, I don't care. I'm not on duty. Yeah. But then we were like, no, it's John's car's on fire.
He was like, dude, I'm off the clock. He was like, no, you have some personal investment.
This is a personal fire. Yeah,
this is a personal fire.
This isn't a professional one.
This is homegrown. We need help.
Yeah, dude.
I remember one time I was in like this parking lot of a grocery store just because, let's stay on topic. But I was with my good friend at the time and my little brother, and I was, probably 19 or whatever. And my brother was the one sitting in the back seat, and so we weren't in the car yet. Like we got back from the grocery store, me and my friend got in the car, and then I kept driving away from my brother, so he couldn't. Like I would keep like inching the car so he couldn't get in it. And then I was getting to the point like I lulled him into a false sense of security to like drive fast enough to where he has to jog, and he had the door open, And dude, I slammed on the brakes so hard, and he just
go to the
ran right
door?
into the
Oh,
door.
hell yeah.
Dude, it was awesome. I have a
That's
dude,
pretty mean. You said
it
you
was
didn't
so
do anything
mean.
mean. That's
Yeah.
pretty mean.
Oh, dude, I was a bastard to my brother as a kid. I fucking regret it so much. I was so mean to my brother, and like and we have a great relationship now. But like it's one of those it's just one of those things you kind of think back on. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I'm the youngest. I had 3 older brothers. So.
3 older brothers. Oh, so they beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah,
They had to have at
absolutely.
least like beaten you a little. Oh yeah, I remember your joke about your brothers and stuff like that. I'm not gonna say your bit on stage where he's like you had to share a room with them and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
Yeah,
Hey, if you
yeah.
want to see that, you gotta get to an open mic or a show that he's on. Check Sam out. All right,
Slam Silverman on Instagram.
Slam Silverman, and you're gonna type in Sam Silverman, and you're gonna wonder why Instagram doesn't just throw you a fucking bone, because they never. I type in Sam Silverman, and it doesn't even like.
You need the slam.
You need to put the L, because without the L, it's just like this could be anybody.
No, it really could be Sam Silverman.
If
you know anything about Jews, there's about 40,000 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Silverman is like the John Smith of Jewish names.
Really?
Not to like that extent, but Silverman is extremely common, and then Sam is just like a run-of-the-mill Jew name.
Yeah.
Not too fancy schmancy.
What are other run-of-the-mill Jew names?
Like a Josh Cohen. I grew up with a Josh Cohen. A Max Goldberg. So like throwing like a short biblical name with
like Gabriel or something like that, or Samson.
Gabriel, you could be a Jewish Gabriel, but more like your Joshuas, your Isaacs. We're getting real deep into like I love it. We're
this is
getting
why I
Jew
had
talk.
So man.
But yeah, like your Joshuas, your Isaacs, your Maxes, your Sams.
Yeah.
These are your Jonahs. These are run of the mill Jew names.
Okay, I got you. Hold on, excuse me. What? She wants to talk about. She wants to talk about Judaism.
About Judaism?
Yeah, she was thinking of converting.
Good.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we'll have her. Look at her. If we gave her a little yarmulke,
little yarmulke would be. Little yarmulkes are so cute.
That's your rap name.
Really, little yarmulke.
Little yarmulke
would be good.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think there are. I mean, I'm sure somebody has tried it, but I've never heard it.
Do you want if I can be crass for a second? There is a pop star named Lil Anne Frank. She does not have a booming career, by the way.
Yeah, I haven't heard of her. Trust me, if she had, I would have heard of her.
Yeah, she had a few little ditties like on there. Well, I mean, you
don't
can say that about songs, but no ditty. I don't know what to do now that I just said that, but you know what I'm saying? People who like music from the 80s. But okay, continue.
I was just gonna say, if your name's Lil Anne Frank, isn't the whole? You don't want to be too famous, because then you get caught. Weirdly, I hope she's Jewish.
I mean, I don't think that's weird to like hope someone that names himself Anne Frank.
No, I know.
Yeah,
it's just so funny. It'd be so funny.
Yeah, well, this is actually the Malcolm X podcast. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of have to like be in my own wheelhouse. You know.
I want to meet her father.
Yeah, do you? You want to meet Big Anne Frank?
I want to meet Big Anne Frank, and I just want to make sure that he's okay, because it's one thing to have your daughter in porn, but it's another. Well, you know what? No, you know what? Sex positivity these days. I want my daughter to be in porn.
So I worked for a plumber. This is, do you know what? This is how we're gonna get out of this. Is that I'm just gonna start talking plumber stories. I used to work with a plumber and like be his little fucking boy apprentice or whatever. And I was 25, and he was just like the dude. So I lived in this rich neighborhood-ish thing. I was like the only renter where everybody like lived there with owned houses, and they like get to go to the like gym and whatever they have. Like I just rented in a community that was very well off. And so I worked for the plumber of that community, because he just all he would have to do is just fucking go work for these millionaires, and then, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't really have to extend past the community. He was picking me up 6:30 in the morning with a flask in his hand. He has called me at 6:30 at night thinking it's 6:30 in the morning, saying he's going to pick me up.
God.
Like, oh, dude, it was a nightmare working with him. It was crazy. And he showed me a lot. I mean, like he definitely did, but he was the type of guy to where like if he sent me out to the truck to get something and I couldn't find it, I would have like 45 seconds of like I will die if I don't go in there with the right thing. It's crazy because he's just changing out toilets and like fixing sinks and stuff like that. And whenever there's water around, everything just stinks more. You know what I mean? Like it's but he would just bitch and complain about everything, but he was good at what he did. And what's crazy is in the Poconos there's a lot of crawl spaces, right? Like that's kind of how like all of the houses are kind of laid out. So if you have any sort of plumbing system, I mean, obviously you have a plumbing system. It's usually one of the short round bodies instead of like the tall ones that you would see if it was like in the house, you know. And he was taller than me, so he's just a miserable 50-year-old dude who's 6'4" in a fucking crawl space that is 3 feet tall, and he is just down there, and he's just like, "Fucking son of a bitch!" Like he's just like, dude, it's 7 in the morning, like, and he's just cursing up a damn storm. I think working with blue collar esque people who are in trades is like so weird because they're usually not happy about doing it, but they're so good at doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's interesting. I never.
Have you ever like worked like any sort
Well,
of?
that's my problem. Yeah, I've never worked like a blue collar job, but I do get completely what you're saying. That like they always seem they're so good at what they do, but they always seem like they don't want to do it.
Oh, their back hurts.
Maybe that's why. Yeah, maybe that's all. You get so good at something, they want a new challenge. Maybe that's what they're looking for. They're just looking for that one toilet that really puts them to the test.
Hey, we got a couple showers that would put him to the test. We should get him out of here. You know what I mean? Hell yeah, dude.
But maybe that's why he was so angry, because he was just same shit every day.
Just over it.
Just
you know
over
what I mean?
it.
There's different like. So it was always so funny because he would just like curse up a storm, but then he would just be like, "I need you to go here and in the truck up top on the left there's gonna be something that's like that long, and I just need you to bring me that. And if there's one a little bit shorter, maybe bring that." And I got to go out there, and I'm just like, I've never heard of these goddamn things in my life. And then what it would be, I mean, it depended on the day. We would have to do wells, right? And so when I don't know. Have you ever lived in a place with well water?
No, I don't think
So when they do it, it really depends because it can go into it's this like metal thing that's like that bothers me. It's like probably that big. It's a well pump, right? And you fucking put it in the ground, and it can go 50 feet. It can go 350 feet. It can go way deeper than that if they really need to, right? So if you need to get it out of the ground, you're like walking up the street, like you're pulling this metal fucking pump out of the ground hundreds and hundreds of feet, which, I mean, it's not light, you know what I mean? Like it's pushing water up hundreds of feet, you know? So it's just like, it's not like super heavy that you can't do it, but you know, you're up the street, you know what I mean? You're pulling this thing like fucking like hundreds and hundreds of feet. And those days sucked, I suppose. But the only time that I would probably say, because these things, with trades, the nuance of a lot of it is what the difficulty is, of just like the vast knowledge that you kind of need to fix all things. But like knowing how to fix them isn't necessarily like horrible, right? Like, because like if my toilet broke, I could change my toilet. Like I know how to do it. I know how to put the rubber ring down, you know, yada, yada. And water heaters are a pain in the ass. They're just heavy, but you can just plug them in. You have the right fucking tools, you know, you have some, you crimp them, whatever. And the only one I would say like genuinely sucks, in my opinion, like all of it kind of sucks, I guess, because it's a trade and that's why you spend money on it for other people to do it, is water purifiers, right?
Okay.
So they have these things called a brine tank. And what it is like you put 5 or 6 bags of solar salt into it. And pretty much what it does is it like, you know, it just runs through the water, purifies it, changes the pH, whatever like that. You know what I mean? The nuances, I might be wrong with a little bit of things, but that's pretty much what it does. It's like it goes through the brine tank and then it filters the water out for you. So you could just like, you know. But when you're in a crawl space, it's a blue drum that literally goes up. If it's 3 feet, it's like 2.5. I just spit on camera. First spit at the camera. If it's 3 feet, then it goes like 2.25 feet. And then you have the 50-pound bags with that less of a foot of room. You have to lift it on your knees. You have to lift those bags because you're in a crawl space. Dump them in. The shifting of weight because of all the rock, and you have to do that 6 times. That's when it sucks, right? Like I deal with in my job now. I deal with fucking like shit and like all this different stuff. Like so, I never really. It's always gross, but I never really minded it. It's more so just like that weird amount of labor that you have to do at 8 a.m. that makes me want to fucking die. When you're working hard and sweating before noon, before the sun's up, it takes a special person, man.
Oh yeah, dude.
I would be miserable too, you know?
I work from home, so I can't even relate.
Yeah, but you had to have like some sort of like what have you done for work over time, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, like if you have any cool stories about any specific jobs, you don't have to run me down your resume.
I went to teacher jail. So I started out my first job out of not my first job out of college. Technically, my first job out of college was like, I get scammed a lot.
Okay.
So actually, I've never really like talked about this. Well, I can talk about it. The people in my life know about it. But my first job out of college was like a door-to-door. I didn't realize it until I like signed on, but it was like a door-to-door scam type thing.
Okay.
I was going to be like a door-to-door salesman type thing. And then I realized that was a scam. So I got another job where I was studying to sell insurance. And then I realized that selling insurance, look, I'm not going to cast any aspersions on insurance salesmen. But I didn't feel the best about being like an insurance salesperson. So those were like my first 2 very quick things out of college. Then I became a teacher, a public school teacher. And I have no teaching credentials. The city of Philadelphia is just so desperate for teachers that they basically will let you be a teacher if you want to be a teacher because so many people don't want to be teachers. So then I was thrown into a classroom as just like a 22-year-old, and I tried to like freedom writers them. I tried to be like really cool and like hip and like, you know.
Yeah.
When you're 22, you think you're cooler than you are. So
Sure.
like these 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds thought I was a joke, but I thought I was like all dope. So they would give me a ton of pushback.
Sure.
And I was a 22-year-old who had not been trained on how to like on classroom management, on like de-escalating things. So I would lose my mind at these kids because they weren't listening to me. Like I would just yell at them at the top of my lungs. Like I was a terrible teacher.
Yeah.
But I was teaching like in the middle of like the hood in Philly. So these kids would like call me like crazy shit and like try to fight me and stuff like that. So eventually one day, basically it got to the point where I did not touch this child.
Okay.
I did not, and I'll keep the story quick, but basically I did not touch this child. I really want to emphasize that I did not, and not even how you might be thinking about it, like fighting. Basically, a kid claimed that I had like tried to fight them.
Okay.
And the dad came to the school and then tried to fight me.
Sure.
So then all this goes down, and I tell my principal to like try and get ahead of it. But turns out that they put me in what's called teacher jail, where all of the teachers in Philly who have like been in a crazy situation, before they can fire you because there's a union, they have to like go through a whole process. So they put you in this windowless room with all the other bad teachers, and you just sit there and you get paid. Which
How
is
many
kinda
are
cool.
there? Wait, can you explain?
Yeah, it's a crazy part of Philly. So in Philadelphia, on 4th, you can go visit them. You can go visit these teachers like it's a zoo, okay? It's terrible. Basically, what the city of Philadelphia has done is they've taken like 20 to 40 to however many people at the time need to be there, and they've put these teachers in a room with no windows where they're supposed to just sit for 8 hours a day and just like think about what you've done. And it's varying levels. First off, first rule of teacher jail is we're all innocent, okay? Yeah. But within that, there's varying levels of like, okay, no, that guy should be in real jail. And then there's stories where it's like this teacher literally did nothing.
Yeah.
But it's just all these fucked up teachers in a room in Philadelphia. Just
So
trying to
you
make
guys
it,
just
man.
got that's a full circle thing because you're getting paid to go to a longer detention.
Yeah, you get paid to go to a really long
Do
detention.
you have like an older, meaner teacher that's at front that shushes you, or like are you allowed to like be people in there?
It was you could do whatever you wanted in there. It was very much like the detention room where it was all the bad. We were all the bad teachers, so we were acting out
Yeah.
at that point. We didn't give a shit.
That's like the start of a movie about like a softball team. You know what I mean? Like it's just a bunch of bad teachers. They're just like,
Mhm.
but we can probably save the school if we win the Philadelphia Softball
Yeah,
Association
dude.
championship. You know?
We're gonna have to cut this only because I'm gonna make that into a movie.
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody to steal it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Leave it in.
It's
Um
it's just it cuts to me on my computer. Okay, like I'm the one. You know?
But no, we should have like it was very much that type of vibe of like let's make a softball team. Like we were all just so fucking just done.
Sure.
Like there was one dude who used to bring his lunch. He used to bring loose lunch meat in a bag, but not like a bag, not like a sealable bag.
Okay.
Like it was an open-faced bag, like
Yeah.
a bag from the store.
Like if you got meat cut and then it's like in the paper, or is it just
No,
like when you get fruit, like when you get fruit in this grocery store, it's like
imagine
an
like
open,
that type of bag.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a
like an umbrella bag or something, like one that you put an umbrella in when it's wet, so it doesn't like drop on the floor. Like it's just an open bag.
Yeah, an open
Okay.
bag, and he would just have lunch meat.
Yeah.
Like you've gotten to a certain point in your life when you can't even properly containerize. I don't know what the word is. When you can't even properly
Contain.
transport your meat. When
Yeah,
you can't properly contain your meat. When
Amen.
you're just leaving it loose in a bag, like you
Yeah.
don't care anymore. And it was roast beef too, so it wasn't even a top
It's
lunch
green.
meat.
It was like green now because of like all the air on it
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was just old
Yeah.
green lunch meat.
You ever realize like roast beef gets green? That's like a thing that just happens. Have you ever
I've
noticed
not
that?
no-
Oh,
I've
dude.
not
So I
noticed
used
that
to.
roast
I
beef
used.
gets
Well,
green.
it's not supposed to be like I'm not talking like fucking Dr. Seuss green, right? Like I'm just
Okay.
like it's kind of like
Like a hue.
I suppose like in little parts. The only reason why I know that is because like my first job when I was 15 was at Subway, and Subway sandwiches. I was a sandwich artist. And which I still put on everything. If someone asked me like special skills about myself or something like that, I always put sandwich artist.
Hell
Always.
yeah.
And yeah, dude, like the meat would just like I always thought it was like bad or something like that, which is funny. Wouldn't it be so funny in context if I look it up? It was like, no, it was bad. No, it's not bad beef, But it was just like always weird to me whenever I would see roast beef. It would just always ick me out because I feel like roast beef has always been like fine. Right,
Yeah.
like if I was gonna eat beef, I would rather it be like not a lunch meat.
Yeah.
Right, like
yeah.
lunch meat beef is kind of like, because
Is it the only lunch meat beef? It might be.
No, I mean
Is
like,
pastrami beef?
oh, dude, don't do this to me because I'm gonna say yes or no and then I'm gonna be wrong because like there's like smoked meat in Canada, which is like a cousin of pastrami. Yeah, probably. I would imagine
probably
so.
beef.
I would imagine so. And this is where, so this is when I edit, it's going to be like, yeah, you dipshit. It is roast beef. You know what I mean? Like I do all those. So
Okay.
so I will fact check in editing and then everything will be there. Cause you don't realize how dumb you are until you have to listen to yourself in a long form setting multiple times.
Oh,
And then you're
sure.
just, oh, dude, I'm an absolute idiot. Like I always thought my vocabulary was at least a little nice, little, jazz here and there.
You had a good lexicon.
Yeah, sure, exactly. Nice. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then you just listen to yourself, and I stammer like a son of a bitch, and I forgot what Venice, Italy was. I was talking about the town
Who
that was
remembers?
floating. I don't know, because me and
The
my
town
buddy
that
were
was
talking
floating.
about how we have New Orleans, which is pretty much our Venice, depending,
Yeah.
and it made sense. Hey, tune in episode 1 of the pod with Kyle, and I don't know. So when I worked at Subway and stuff, I was always like, I don't know. It's a weird job to have as like a 15-year-old, right? Because you're just making sandwiches. I guess it's probably the perfect job for a 15-year-old because you're just like working alongside random adults that have to work at a Subway, and it's which for what it's worth, I'm never a guy who judges if someone has a job. It doesn't matter. Like if I'm ever like in an argument with somebody, I would never be like, "Oh, that's why you're a fucking like bus driver or whatever like that, or like a garbage man or something like that." Just because like I grew up in the food industry, so it's like you see people making their lives because of this job, whether it be serving or managing or doing whatever. So it's like, but as a 15-year-old, you see a dude who's 27, 28. I even worked with people who are like 50 at a Subway, and I'm just like, how are you making a living off? Like, it's kind of like a weird dichotomy because I'm just like the youngest one there, but we're doing the same shit.
Yeah. I apologize for yawning.
You're fine. It's because of my story.
It's tired.
And, you know, I remember, but dude, I always remembered like, oh my god, this is a great story. So I just started smoking weed when I was 15, and I probably did it like 1 or 2 times. It was like because how old are you?
28.
28. So I'm 30. So you and I kind of like had the same wheelhouse where it's just like when we started smoking pot, it was still very illegal.
Yeah.
Like it was still like you can get probo just as a child just by having it on you, right? So I miss those days. I really, as much as I like knowing that I could just go to the store and get weed, that's pretty cool. But the days where you had to like worry was kind of fun, right?
Yeah,
like you're in a
100%.
podcast. You're in like a fucking like a parking lot, and you just have to wait and see if he's gonna come, and then they're like 25 minutes late, and you're just like, fuck, we've been sitting in this giant parking lot twiddling our thumbs, you know. But so I worked with a guy.
Weed dealers. Yeah.
I worked with this guy who was older than me. He was definitely, you know, in his 20s. And I told him that I smoked pot for the first time, you know, and I was wondering like how to even get your hands on it. And I was working with him, and then this other guy, and I'll get to him in a second. So he brings me to the back because we worked at a Subway in a BJ's. So it was, you know, a little nook. Like, you ever go to a BJ's and there's just like that nook to where there was a Subway or there was like a Baskin Robbins or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like where it was. And so it was so funny because there would just be this little tiny place where you close the door and that's where you wash the dishes and like, you know, do the paperwork or whatever. And he brought me in there, and then in his coat, he literally shook out his coat, and it was like 30 different size bags, like of just like varied amounts that I could be buying. It was crazy, right? And then the other guy was out there. His name was Matt. And the only reason why it just paints the picture, right? Like, it's because, one, I don't remember the dealer's name. And even if I did, no snitch. But Matt was a snitch. He was like he was like late 20s, earring, great relationship with his dad, has like a shamrock tattoo because he's fucking Irish as shit. And he talked like this. And he talked like why would you do that? Like that type of, oh my God. So I came out after I bought weed, and he comes up to me and like super seriously, and it's so funny because at Subway you're all wearing like visors. You know what I mean? So you can't be serious to me in a fucking visor, in a maroon fucking apron. An apron and a maroon polo shirt. You know what I mean? But he comes to me like, what did he show you back there? And I was like, he didn't show me nothing, man. He was like, I know that you guys were back there, and he was showing you something that you probably shouldn't have at work. And I was like, no, I didn't do anything. He's like, I'm going to find out, and I'm going to tell our manager. And I was like, good luck. And then I just walked away. And that was the whole thing. So then, from then on, he would, like, start pressing this guy. And it was also fun. He was also, like I said, the super white dude. And then he sees the guy just bring me back. He was just like, I think he's trouble.
He told the manager that?
He told the manager that. And it was just because he was just like another like Irish daddy's boy. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, you know, I wish people were slaves. Like that time, yeah. It just kind of like a self-righteous, like I need to make the world a better place by stopping this 15-year-old from smoking weed, sort of situation.
So he was old, like he was like 21 plus.
So both of them were in their 20s for sure.
Okay.
They were both like full ass adults who needed a job. The one, like the guy who sold weed to me was just like the dude who bounces from job to job because he keeps getting fired because he doesn't give a fuck. And then Matt was the one that would just like fucking just be there. Like he has a good gig, right? He lives with his dad. He takes care of his dad. He makes just enough money at Subway to like make it, right? Because this is also 15 years ago. So minimum wage 15 years ago, as much as it wasn't like a lot, it like it's way more than now, right? Like in terms of just like what $7 can get you,
Yeah.
you know, in 2010, 2011 versus now is, you know, day and night. But I worked there, and then I remember what I did was I actually moved from another Subway. I started another Subway, and it ended up burning down. And yes, yeah, this was years later. You can look it up. For all the homies in the Poconos, you know what I'm talking about. There was this whole court of just like all these different shops, and a buddy of mine, there was a escape room there, and a buddy of mine worked at the escape room building all of the puzzles and stuff like that.
Escapes.
Yeah, he built the traps, the escapes, everything. He did the games and whatever. And one day, I mean, we all got the text, right? Like everybody on the mountain knows that was happening. Like when that happened, like the news was huge because it's just, you know, there was like 10, 12, 15 businesses there like that. Like, and it went like it is gone. It is completely destroyed. And they found out that it was something to do with the escape room.
Oh, really?
So to this day, I'm just like, you know, you like destroyed 15 businesses, right? And he's like, I didn't do shit. I didn't do nothing. Because it was probably like, I don't know, it was one of those things where there was probably water and electricity or something like that. Like, it's not like he was some shady dude who's just like, all right, let's see how long this goes for. It was more so like my boss needs help building stuff, so he needs help, but he has insurance, whatever.
Okay.
And it completely destroyed the place. So my first ever job was destroyed in a fire.
Hell yeah.
And I think that's good closure. I think that's great closure. You know what I mean? So something I want to do, since I have you here, is I do this thing called Bangers and Dangers, right? It's a segment we did last week. It fucking sucked. So we're gonna see how it goes week 2.
Let's
right?
do it.
We're gonna see. So I'm gonna show you something, and then you're gonna tell me if it's a banger or a danger, and then why.
What's a danger?
Danger is a bad thing. I did look it up. I can't say bangers and dangers, but like if it's a banger, you like it. But if it's a danger, then you don't like it.
Okay.
Right?
Let's do it.
So we're gonna do it. All right, guys. Bangers and dangers. I only have them on pieces of paper because I have no like. I wish I had like a Joe Rogan Jamie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
it's
like,
Francis.
it's Francis. Yes, yeah. That is the running at the moment. She's just trying to help as much as possible. So our first one. Here we go. Banger or danger? Outdoor activities.
In theory, they're bangers, but for me, they often end up as dangers.
Why?
I'm a very, because I'm a sedentary man. Like when I would get high back in the, I mean, first off, that's a big portion of it is that I'm constantly, for the viewers out there, I'm constantly high for the most part. Which means that I love to lay down and I love to sit. Like, even growing up, I would have friends who they would get high and they'd be like, let's go, let's do stuff.
Yeah.
And I was never that type of person. So I would say outdoor activities are a danger from that perspective. But the reason I said in theory they're bangers because I get why they're good for people. Going for walks.
Yeah.
Maybe riding a skateboard.
Mm-hmm.
What else do people do outside? Some people live outside.
Some people live outside. That is true.
Homeless people.
They go hiking and stuff.
They really love outdoor activities.
Yeah, well, those are the activities they have for the most part. You know what I mean?
Are the outdoor ones?
Yeah, other than like, you know, like they they have outdoor activities, and then they're really good at vestibule activities as well, such as holding doors open and standing up while their head is down. So are they asleep? I don't know. They might be
Who
in a
knows?
stasis, but I'm not here to punch down on homeless people. You know, we are in a disenfranchised world.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but I completely agree with you, because when I was growing up, I would play, you know, sports and stuff like that, but it always ended up being basketball. So like that's half the time inside anyway. But one thing that I do, and I touched on this last week, was that I have a huge history with mushrooms. Like that's probably taken them well over 100 times, right? Like I
Okay.
fucking love them. They're awesome. And when people, but my thing was I already said I didn't want to repeat myself before this, and I was just like, God damn it, I'm already doing the same story the next week in a row or whatever. But I fucking can't stand people who want to go out on drugs. Like when they're just like, dude, we should go where like bears could be.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my God, what if like, wait, we should go into the woods and maybe like I could step in a puddle and then my socks are all wet while I'm on hallucinogens. That sounds like it's a wonderful fucking idea. No, I want to stay inside. I want to watch Lil Nicky with my hands in my pockets because I'm fucking nervous.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do. And that is what I'd rather. I'd rather like stay at home, watch movies, and just laugh at movies
100%.
instead of like going outside. And plus, like
Outside's scary.
yeah, but like exactly, it's scary. I've only taken shrooms in public, or I mean public or outside or whatever like that, maybe 2 or 3 times. Like the only time I took shrooms that I can remember in public, anyway, like off the top of my head, was you remember when Warped Tour went to Atlantic City?
No.
No? Okay. So after Warped, you're familiar with Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when Warped Tour was done, they had this thing where it was just, they had 3 festivals called Warped Tour. And it was across the country. There was like one in LA, whatever, and then one in Atlantic City, and then I think one in like Florida or something. And it was a 3-day festival, and it happened on the beach at Atlantic City. And it had, you know, so many incredible, it was so wild just to like see, you know, the U's, Blink-182, Real Big Fish, Less Than Jake, the Aquabats, fucking like Bowling for Soup, like, you know, obviously Keep Flying, shout out to the homies. But like just instead of Warped Tour in one day, it's 3 days of it, right?
Okay.
So I remember that there was this girl that I met at like some Sweet 16 once. It was one of those things where it's just we were just Facebook friends, right? Just over time of the like how many years, because this happened, you know, right before COVID, probably like 2019 or something like that. She hit me up because she was also there. And, you know, when you're in a different state, you want to be around people you kind of know at least, you know?
Yeah.
So she was just like, hey, I have shrooms and my friends don't want to take them. Do you want to come do them? I was just like, fuck yeah, you know? Like, whatever, I'll take some shrooms. And I remember taking the shrooms, and dude, taking shrooms on the beach is so cool because you just get to watch sand move.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh my God, it was so cool. I was watching the sand in the water for hours. But call back to this. I am a bad person. So what happened was we were chilling for a couple hours. It was like my group, and she was just hanging around. And it was I was with my brother at the time as well. And I was tripping pretty good. You know, I was having a good time. We were walking through the crowd, and there's tens of thousands of people on a beach. Like, it was very difficult to maneuver because it's in sand. There's 50 whatever thousand people on a beach. And I remember she was walking in like the sense of, she was like so fucked up that she was like doing like the toe curl walk. Like when you ever see someone on drugs and they're like fucking
Okay.
like doing that. And dude, I looked at my brother and I was just like, this can't be our problem today. This is a problem. We have to go.
Oh shit.
Oh,
You
dude,
just
I
left there?
absolutely ditched her. I
Hell
absolutely
yeah.
ditched her. It was not. I felt
Get the
bad,
drugs and go.
dude. I do you know what's fun is the shame in me right now is like I can't put this in the podcast. Like I'm really I think it's a very funny story, but no excuse. It was not a cool thing to do, right? It was not cool. So that's why I do shrooms inside, is because if I do them outside, I abandon people.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, little riff on me being a bad fucking person. So I don't know. I'm gonna watch this and I'm gonna really think about adding it or taking it away or something.
So dagger. So outdoor activities for you then are
Danger,
dagger.
danger. Okay,
Danger.
yeah, danger. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So I would say outdoor activities are a danger. All right. Here we go. Daft Punk's Alive 2007.
I don't know enough about. Is that one of their albums? Is that the one with? I'm so sorry. I'm terrible at music. Is that Chris? He might be mad. Is that the album with I don't know, Around the World on it?
Around the World is on the album. Yes.
Okay.
It's not. So it's not. It's not a studio album. It's So in 2000, it could have been like a technical 2006 thing or whatever like that. You know what I mean? When people just do the next year because they're in the future or whatever, and they're Daft Punk.
Yeah.
So you know who Daft Punk is.
I know who Daft Punk
Okay.
is.
So Daft Punk put Alive 2007 out, and it was like, and it still is one of the greatest like music industry turning concerts ever. Because they were making, they were just making bangers
So
all
banger
the time.
for sure.
Banger for sure. And then they came out and they had like this giant triangle with like a stage at the top of the triangle, and that's where they stood. And that's when they were playing like, Around the World and Television Rules the Nation. Like you're listening to fucking Robot Rock. Like, oh my God. And so that was like the birth for thousands, tens of thousands of people that like enjoyed that really fucking sent them to the stratosphere.
Okay.
Like, oh my God. I what if I just start putting
Then
things
banger
out
for sure.
Banger for sure. Okay. Sweet. All right, this one might be a little tough.
Jazz.
What do you think of Jazz? Is Jazz a banger or a danger?
I feel like you're putting it up there, and it's the only one that's been in red. So I feel
I don't
like,
think that means anything.
Okay. Sometimes jazz can get a little bit too out there for me, but I'm gonna say banger.
Okay.
As a weed smoker, I just like stuff that can do. I'm more of like a soft, like experimental jazz can get a little too experimental for
Sure.
me when it's like beep boop 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 bop
Yeah.
bop. But I like smooth jazz.
Like if you're in an Italian restaurant or something like that and you just have something like in the background with a saxophone, you're like, all right, hell yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to I don't just limit myself to that. Not
Sure.
that I'm musically, I pretty much stick for the most part to individual songs rather than, it's kind of a weird thing. I attach myself to individual songs rather than artists, genres, or albums. It's just
Okay.
like I find songs that I like. So there are jazz songs that I like that are more experimental and stuff like that, but I do really like just like smooth jazz, which I know is like corny and kind of lame.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I know a lot. Jazz gets a lot of shit. That's why I figured you put it up there as a danger. But I would. Say
No, I was gonna
banger.
put. I mean, like, so I'm a huge fan of ska, and I would like say it's
Hell
like
yeah.
it's like if you wanted like a child to make jazz, but also within rhythm. Like I don't know. Like I always enjoy. I enjoy watching people that are good at stuff. So when it comes to genres of music that are just inherently difficult to play, I feel like it's so much more encapsulating to kind of like watch somebody who's very good at jazz versus someone who could just play fucking like Green Day. You know what I mean? Not that that's bad. It's just like watching someone really good at something very technical, no matter what it is always more interesting to me.
That's a good way of putting it. I do enjoy the virtuosity of jazz.
Sure.
And like just dudes that will like just be able, like, have you ever listened to like Miles Davis?
Yeah.
Or
No,
is it-
I mean, like, I couldn't, like, fucking riddle off his, you know what I mean?
Me neither. But just like I will find somebody who's like well known,
Yeah.
because I know that to get to that point you have to be good, especially in jazz. Like you have to be a virtuoso at your instrument.
Sure. Absolutely.
So like I'll just like, I love just like Miles Davis or Charlie Parker, and I'm talking like I listen to a lot of these people, but like I do enjoy listening to people who are just really good at their instruments.
Mhm.
And
Well, it's the same thing. Like if you play Fallout, right? Like you have you ever played Fallout?
I've watched my brothers play.
Okay, so the music is just like fucking super old stuff, like stuff from like the 40s and whatever like that. And it's exactly kind of that. It's just like when you get into a certain wheelhouse of like these are the best of that kind of fits the like because the vibe means a lot too. Like it doesn't have to be the greatest thing in the world, but if it lends itself to a vibe, it's like you know what I mean. Like it ends up being so much more important. Just like that's why like music and movies is so important because it's like you see different. You just see different aspects of movies because of the music, right? And like I think jazz lends itself very well to that. You know, in general of just like jazz is its own vibe. Do you know what's funny? Have you ever seen the movie Whiplash?
Oh, 100%.
Bro, maybe this is funny. I don't know if this is funny, but have you ever watched Whiplash and you're like, because the whole how he like leaves his girlfriend and stuff like that to like pursue drumming. Like I watched that for the first time and I'm gonna be like, God, I hope that's not me with comedy. Like this dude is like the best drummer this guy's ever seen, and he's like, hey, I have to practice more, and I'm just like, God, little does my honey know. But it was funny like when it first came out. I was like with somebody, and then that's what year did Whiplash come out?
That was probably like 2014, 2015.
Yeah, so I was with like another girlfriend at the time. You know what I mean? And I was just like, she has no clue, dude. I'm like the artist in my head is just like elsewhere right now, dude. That's another thing with just like seeing such askew, like just very obscure examples of extreme like situations. Because like you see Whiplash and you're just like, what if I'm that type of artist who just needs to be alone in order to facilitate? And turns out when I'm alone, all I do is just smoke cigarettes. So it's like having Addie in my life is wonderful because I'm an actual human. You know,
it's also
I have
funny.
to shower.
It's also funny watching Whiplash.
Yeah,
and think because when you watch a lot of times as an aspiring artist, the first time you watch it, like you're like, oh, that as you said, like maybe that's me, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it's like that movie is a cautionary tale. Like the whole point of that movie is them to be like, don't be like this kid.
Yeah.
And it's funny how so many artists watch Whiplash and they're like, no, I'm that guy, and it's like that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
That you're that guy if you are that guy.
I guess I never really thought about it like that, just because like it's. I mean, I guess inherently it's just a symbiotic, toxic relationship. Right? Like it's just one of those relationships with somebody that you like hate but admire, and then you just like to the point where you're getting hit by a car and you just get up and fucking drum your ass off or whatever. Like I guess I never really put it like that. I always put it as like the opposite, like what you were saying, where it's just like I shouldn't be thinking about this as the ultimate level of where I want to be at in terms of my art, is that I'm willing to get hit by a car and go do stage time. You know what I mean? Maybe that's not healthy or something that you should do.
Yeah.
But that's also why we have, geniuses, because they're weird.
Exactly.
They're just they're not real people. When you're a genius, you almost like leave reality to like become its own thing. Like Ari Shaffir has a joke about it where he talks about Kanye and the things he said and stuff like that. He was just like, dude, he's a genius. Like he's not like the things he's doing. By the way, these are Ari Shaffir. I don't think Kanye West is a genius. He's very talented with music. All right, but He was just like, yeah, dude, they're not even on this fucking planet. Like, you think someone would invite Van Gogh to a party?
Yeah, dude.
No, he cut his ear off.
Yeah.
He was like, no, don't invite Van Gogh. Like that. So yeah, I think Ari had like a great point there. With just like once you get to a certain aspect of yourself in terms of the upper echelon of skill in whatever thing, they're still human around that. Like, so like they could be the greatest of all time in this thing, but they also still like, fucking take shits and like fucking have to go to the food store, and like usually, unless they have somebody to, go for them, but like they're still normal people. I guess, they're just removed from society. Like think of like Taylor Swift, right? Like I don't know the echelon of things. Like I'm not like, obviously something's working. Just because I don't listen to her doesn't mean that it's, bad by any means. It's just not my type of music. But like, do you think she has a day that she's normal ever? She can't.
Yeah.
She can't.
Yeah.
She's the most she's like probably like one of the most famous people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like to be somebody who has to keep pushing out content that's so good, like for their fans or whatever, and then also just have to be at home and be like, oh man, I might be worried about something. Like she don't have to be worried about normal stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right. So, banger.
What was the
Jazz.
original? Yeah,
It was jazz. Yeah.
Yeah, banger.
All right. Sweet. All right. Sweet. It's good. All right. Next one. We have two more. This next one, Pokemon cards.
Pokemon cards. I would say they're bangers.
Mhm.
I haven't admittedly, I never got into Pokemon as much. It was always waves for me. So it would always be a time where I would be like, I'm gonna get really into Pokemon,
Sure.
and then I didn't get into it as much as I wanted to.
Okay.
So growing up, I had some cards. I didn't have like a ton of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had any rare ones. But yeah, I think that they're fun. I think that they're cool.
Sure.
They got good art.
I ended up, dude. I got into it so bad when I was living with my mom, just because like I didn't have to spend any money on anything, so I just kept buying Pokemon. And at first, I was buying packs, and that's stupid. Don't buy packs because that's just gambling. You can just buy whatever one you want, and it looks the same. It just you don't get the dopamine hit, right? But that's how you fucking save money. Is just if you're gonna spend money on cards, you gotta buy the stuff that you want, and don't open packs because that's just literal gambling. So, at the height of my collection, I had, fucking a lot of money into it, right?
Okay.
But before I moved here, I sold most of it just for extra money, just to have around, because it's just like, what would I rather? Would I rather like sell what is accrued and make, $5,000-$6,000 just to have as like, oh shit money? Or do I just want to keep looking at cards that are in my drawer, right? So I have like a little bit left, but after like a couple of things that kind of happened all in a row, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get the fuck out of it just because it was like so expensive. And like, you need to, at some point you get insurance for it. Like I didn't have to do that.
Really?
But like, yeah, yo. Because there's that one comedian, I barely see him anymore, but he has that one joke about how he just found like a Gyarados that was worth thousands of dollars or something like that. I can't believe I forget his name. He's a really nice guy. And I went up to him after I heard that joke for the first time, and I was straight up. I was just like, dude, no, like honestly, you need to go get insurance on it because it's like you're talking about thousands of dollars for cardboard, right? Like, so if you don't, and it just gets wet, then you're fucked. You're not fucked because you never had it in the first place, I guess, and then you remember what it was. But it was just like, yeah, dude, you have to put insurance on that shit because it's like when you're talking thousands of dollars, it doesn't matter if it's a ring or a card or it doesn't matter, right? Like signatures are worth thousands of dollars, so and they're fragile, so you have to give a shit about them. That's why I have my little Pikachu collection over there behind the light. You can't really see it.
Hell yeah.
But okay, cool. So bangers, and then last one, crystals.
Crystals.
I know you have your own set of Jewish magic, but I don't know how you guys are with crystals.
I mean, I don't believe in it, but I also don't like to take away anybody. Like, I also don't know who knows anything, so maybe crystals do work. So I would say the actual results, I would say danger. But the belief that people have in them, I would say, is a banger. I think it's nice that people have something to channel their hopes and beliefs into, and if that's a fucking lapis lazuli or whatever.
Nice call. Hell yeah, dude.
Saying.
I played
Yeah,
Minecraft. I know what you're talking about, dude.
Hell yeah. I started playing this game. Have you heard of the game? I think it's called just Digging a Hole.
No.
Oh, it's a great game. It's basically Minecraft, but I guess it's basically.
It was like Terraria or something.
I don't know that game.
Terraria is kind of like, think of Minecraft but 2D.
Oh no! So it would be more the opposite. So this is Minecraft, but like more fluid graphics.
I understand.
So it looks a little bit. I know that I don't.
They just came out with one like Hytale or something like that, or I think it's called. And it's made by. Like, the game was made pretty much in Minecraft. Like, Minecraft modders made a game out of it. So it looks exactly like it, but you get to mod the game. You get to do, like, there's so much extra stuff that's, like, an early release or whatever. But I agree with you about in terms of, like, the crystal thing. I think it's nice that people, like, believe in something. You know, it, all of the people I know with crystals are broke. So it's like you'd think they'd have a money crystal somewhere. You know what I mean? But they don't. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna put a amethyst in my bra, and then we're gonna hope I don't crash, even though I'm the bad driver. You know, it's I always so maybe I have a different opinion on it only because I like collecting rocks. So it's like I love gemstones and I love like just different cuts of rock. So when they're just like, yeah, but these are like powerful. I'm just like horse shit.
They're not enjoying they're not enjoying the rock for the rock. They're
Yeah.
enjoying these things that they have attached to the rock that
Sure.
aren't even real.
And you know what I mean, for what I know, because this is like the argument that they have, right, is just someone told me it was like, one, there's like electromagnetic pulses in anything, right, including stones, and two, with that, the other point was just like kind of the full moon thing, because it extends right into like moon water and all that shit, like if you get really, or saging and stuff. But like with the moon, for example, crystal girls are usually like I'm sorry, anyone who uses crystals, anyone who uses crystals,
Misgendering the
anybody who
whole
uses
fucking
crystals,
community.
but like they charge their rocks on windowsills when it's a full moon. And this one girl was just like, well, yeah, I mean, like, you ever notice, like, you know, when at a full moon people act weird? Well, it's because, like, what does the full moon does to the water in the sea, you know, with like tides and everything? And humans are made out of 70% water. So when she said that, I was like, I can see the bridge. I can see that bridge there of where full moons make people act different because of, like, you know, what it means in terms of that. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, I kind of understand, you know, like you always hear about the stories of hospitals and bars and all that stuff on full moons are always like weirder. You get more calls or something like that. And, so like that one I could like lend myself to, I suppose. But when it comes to like moon water and charging rocks and like going into a place and just some girl with armpit hair is just like, I know you feel the energy from that peridot. And I'm just like, maybe, dude, maybe, but it's $75 fucking dollars, so I'm not getting
Are
it.
they really that expensive?
Oh, dude, I mean, some of them are. It's, yeah, absolutely.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
well, because like I don't mind spending a lot of money on rocks and gemstones if like there's like a weight, I guess a carat weight. I don't want to just necessarily say carat weight, but like it's just like when there's a legitimate piece, right? Like you see amethyst all the time,
Yeah.
where it's just fucking like set up like that, and you can pay $2,000 for that, right? Like it's just a giant half stone or whatever. But when it's just like carved, when it's carved into a heart and it says like peace on it, you know, or peaceful or whatever, and they're just like, all right, that's gonna be $15. I'm just like,
Yeah.
what I'm sorry, but no, I would much rather just like find random geodes like in those fake prospecting. Have you ever been to one of those places?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where you go and you buy a
yeah.
bag of sand and you're just like, oh my god, and then you have to get like a bunch of fool's gold and then that one fake coin, so you could just go inside and get like a candy bar or something with it.
Hell yeah.
Like that. Down with that. Down with the clown with that. You know, that's way more fun. But like with crystals, dude, I just never, my verbiage has only gotten nicer. It is like, this is the nicest I've ever been about crystals. I've only gotten nicer about it.
Well,
but
that's also like, if you were to really, and I guess I should be honest, but yeah, I mean, when you ask me banger or danger, like if I were to like many of my opinions do align with exactly what you said.
mhm.
I just didn't want to be outright like mean about it. So that's why I said
I'll
like,
do it. It's my show. I got
yeah,
you.
that's why you do it.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely agree with you on a lot of that. Like that, I'm not into it really.
I don't know. And you know, like the thing is like I'm into enough dumb shit that I completely there are things that I actively care about that are not like who gives a shit, right? Like just a bunch of dumb stuff. I mean, but to other people or to me about that side, it's not dumb. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with crystals. So it's just like it's fun talking shit on something, but also like with the notice that that doesn't mean I think these people are bad people.
100%.
You know, like
Yeah.
just because I think something you do is dumb doesn't necessarily mean that like you're a bad person or you are stupid for believing something, unless it's Scientology. It's really like Scientology. That's the
Yeah.
one. That's the one. You know, when
That's
they're
fair.
when that's the one.
That's 100% fair.
You know, but I don't know, fuck it. Like the world's ending, everything is coming to a head, and we don't know what tomorrow is going to look like. So if it gives you a piece of solace to, like, I don't know, fucking collect CDs or rub rocks or fucking watch all the movies in the world, like, who gives a shit?
Do
You
whatever
know
the
what I
hell you
mean?
want. At this point, do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, dude. That's at this point, right? Like, it's because it's one of those like that. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing so much, like just doing random creative projects, because it's just like, I don't know. I work and I hang out with my wife, and other than that, all I do is do comedy related stuff, because it's like it it's either going to be one of two things. One, the world's going to end and I had a lot of fun. Or two, it's not going to end and I worked on something excessively
There you
for
go.
a long time.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what's the worst case scenario is that I die, but that was happening anyway. So it's like it's fuck it. I might as well put my effort into something that's like, I could do this or that or the third or whatever.
I
you know?
like that.
Thank you. I appreciate you. We are getting close to being done. I do want to ask, what for you now that you're kind of like in the wheelhouse of, you're doing more shows, you're getting out to some more mics now that you're laying down the like schedule a little bit, do you have any sort of like goals for yourself in terms of stand up, or is it something that you just kind of have more fun just being you and just going out and whatever happens?
I used to have a lot of so at this point it's just I have to kind of have that mindset of whatever happens because for years I had goals in comedy, but I wasn't doing any comedy.
Sure.
So like when I first decided to become a comedian was in college, and I literally changed my major based off of the fact that I wanted to become a comedian.
That's wild. Okay.
And I
understand
had
what you
never been to an open mic once.
mean. Okay.
So
yeah.
I
Hell yeah.
literally like that's how disconnected my reality was with my comedy dreams.
Okay.
So the only dream I had at that point was be like Dave Chappelle. This was before the Louis C.K. stuff came out.
Sure.
So it was be Louis C.K., be Dave Chappelle. Never had done an open mic. No idea of what the industry or any of it's really like.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I started going to open mics over the years, I never really took it seriously. So I still had my dreams kind of gradually reduced themselves. And then I actually started committing myself more. And my goals changed, but in a way where it was like a positive thing. Like now I do just want to be out there and I just want to like enjoy the community. And I would like right now my ultimate goal would to just be a working comedian, which,
Sure,
I think is what a lot of us just aspire to do.
I think so too. Yeah, I agree.
But it's interesting because before I had ever done or taken open mic seriously, my goals were always much more outlandish because I had no idea of what the industry was really like.
Yeah, you had no concept of like you had no clue about what the business was like. So
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, it's now I'm here, and then there's Sebastian Mousecamp.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just figured, like, I literally thought, because I had always heard growing up that it's going to take 10 years. It takes 10 years of doing comedy before you're like really even know what you're doing.
Sure, and I agree with that. I'm usually like I'll say like, first couple years is the first step, and then you get the 5 years, and then that's a big step, and then 10 years is when you're like a vet of like doing comedy.
Yeah, and I decided that I wanted to become a comedian close to 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought by time passing
that
it would satisfy the requirement,
Sure.
if that makes sense.
It makes complete sense. I have a very similar story.
But it does, actually going out there and doing it is what. So I literally just thought, okay, I want to be a comedian. As you said, Sebastian Maniscalco, that dude's super famous. All I have to do is wait 10 years, and I'm going to be that person.
Yeah, instead of putting in the work, and you have to go on stage, hundreds of times a year and try and like fucking exactly, dude.
And that's why I'm finally starting to, I used to have so much, like, it's weird. I would have anger towards people who were actually, I would have anger towards comedians who were actually doing it because they were doing something that I wasn't doing, but to them they weren't as funny as me. If that.
I get exactly what you mean. So I started when I was 15,
Oh
and
damn.
yeah, so I mean that was the first time I did comedy. I would do open mics all the time, but I never wrote. I was always just like I skated by being the funny kid, and I didn't take comedy seriously until about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 almost. And so there were just years and years and years where like a good buddy of mine, Zach Hammond, is successful. He goes across the country, does shows, gets paid. That's his job, is just, doing stand up and traveling, doing stand up. And I fucking couldn't stand him. I couldn't. I called him my nemesis. I was like, I hated him because he was just so snarky and so sure of himself and such a dickhead. And the thing was it's because I didn't try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't give a fuck. And like
Mhm.
I just thought it was fun being the young kid or whatever and just like doing whatever, and that was fine. But once I started working, it really showed me that like you gain so much respect from people that you don't even necessarily like sometimes, just
Yeah.
because you give a shit about the craft. And that's the end of the day. Like you don't need to know or like everybody in order for you to be successful in comedy, because if people care about comedy, it doesn't fucking matter if you like them as an act or not. If they're good, they're good.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's all
100%.
that matters. There's plenty of comics out there that are like famous that like I wouldn't. Oh my god, look, it's fucking like this person's special came out or whatever, and he's doing it. Like maybe it's not my type. Like Jeff Dunham, for example, right? Loved him when I was a kid. I wouldn't say I love him now, and a lot of people
Yeah.
would be like, "Oh, ventriloquism and whatever." But dude, he's selling out like arenas
Yeah. No.
every
100%.
weekend of his life. He is in an arena, sold out.
That was the whole. There was a lot of that with Matt Rife.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like it's Matt Rife got. I think Matt Rife got a lot of shit for playing into his
Yeah.
bit, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I get that, and I think that's the problem with success as well. Is just like regardless of how you get there, someone's gonna find a reason why it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And again, man, he's a dude. He still shows up at Don't Tells in Massachusetts and just does sets, right?
Oh,
like
really?
he's still very, very much in the community. You know what I mean? And I don't know, Steve Hofstetter, right? Like he's a Pittsburgh guy.
Yeah, I've seen
and
him.
and he like got big because of his heckle stuff. And for years, I was a hater of that. I was just like, oh, you're just trying to get into arguments with people and then post it online and whatever. You're trying to bait people, fish people. But like the dude put out multiple specials. He has a lot of great jokes. And then not only that, but for years he ran a house for comedians to just go stay at when they're in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Like he did a lot. He does a lot of good. He stands for a lot of the things that I would say is positive, right? And so it's just one of those weird situations where you kind of just have to like understand how different everybody is, and laughter is very subjective.
Yeah.
But getting good at it and being able to run with it, it starts getting a little more objective the better you get, because you can like start tricking people into laughing, right? It's like all a ruse, I suppose. But you're getting yourself in with the right people, I think, at this point, where it's like you're getting up enough, and you hang out with people that I think can help you in terms of just like the little things, and then you can help them in terms of it's nice. It's the symbiotic relationship of comedians all working together is so important than just like compartmentalizing, because there's always going to be like cliques or something. No matter where you go, there's going to be cliques and friend groups and stuff, and I think that's fair and understandable. But like, I think one thing that I really like about the city, I think one thing that I love about Philadelphia, especially the comedy scene, is that I couldn't tell you in my personal experience one time where where like the majority of something or whatever was like actively trying to put somebody out. Right? Like everyone just is very coexisting. If you're not on this show, guess what? You could be on another show or whatever like that. Even if they don't book people, like a lot of the open micers who don't really get on shows around here, like they still show up to shows and they still pay and fucking like buy beer and like give a shit, because they know that it takes that much work to get into something.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is just being around. Like if you're not in the forefront of people's heads, you're not going to get opportunity, especially if you're not working hard. And I think that's why it's cool having that, having the bond of just like we're all just trying to do this, I suppose.
Oh, 100%. No, that's what before I did comedy, that's what I from the outside hated on was all these people
Mm-hmm.
like by just trying like there's so much honor in just going out there and just trying, just
Sure.
going out with your friends and just you're all just trying to make art. And before I used to just hate on that from the outside, but now that I'm in it, I agree with exactly,
Yeah.
100%.
It's a camaraderie.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it. But all right, do you have anything else you'd like to add, my friend?
No.
Any
I don't
plugs?
think
Do you have
so.
anything you need to plug?
No plugs except follow me on Instagram, Slam Silverman. I'm
Yep.
trying it for the first time.
Yep.
I got my first 2 videos to ever. I had never you talking about clicks. I had never gotten a click before in my life.
Oh hell yeah!
And
You're starting to feel it.
I got my first 2 videos over the last 2 days. I've gotten 200,000 views,
Nice.
which for me is it's never happened before.
Dude, the dopamine levels you start refreshing. It gets
dude,
sick. But
absolutely.
all right.
So keep it rolling. Follow.
Keep it. Follow Slam Silverman on Instagram. My name is Chris Jones. This has been another episode of Pilk Talk. Love that. Pilk Talk is Pepsi and milk. You should try that. I had it when I was 5. My dad gave it to me. It was pretty good. I haven't had it since. But anyway, my name is Chris Jones. I'm going to be late for work. This has been the Milk Talk podcast. My guest Sam has been an absolute pleasure. I love you guys. I will see you next week. Peace out.